Louisa.
Good morning, SKN. I'm Jamie Morris.
And I'm Kortensia.
All right, so I'm the weather boy for today. Let's see if I'm going to be right with my temperature projections. Partly sunny skies with a 20% or slight chance of a brief passing shower, a high of 88 degrees and a low of 72 degrees Fahrenheit. I missed the low by 1 degree. I was predicting 73.
No.
Well, you know what? Given our track record, I think that we could actually be meteorologists. So we should let the Met Office know that we are available for hiring. After this, of course.
How are you feeling this morning?
Obviously, I'm feeling very comical. I think we have a good show lined up, so I'm looking forward to it. How about you?
I'm good, thanks.
All right, great.
I'm good. Happy to have Shirley back.
Oh, yes. Yes. We're talking about stuff going on behind the scenes, but yeah, everybody who works here is a whole lot of fun, so we're glad that they come back after a break.
And now we begin with the latest in local news. Easter tradition remains alive with Good Friday kite flying competition, this from Wind Media. President of the St. John's Community Improvement Club, Mr. Alsted Pemberton, said he anticipates that the annual kite flying competition will be the most looked forward to event on Good Friday, April 15th, 2022, just as the past 32 years. On Wednesday morning, April 13th, Mr. Alsted Pemberton shared with Win FM
Ladies and gentlemen, we seem to be having a bit of a glitch. Could you bear with us one moment?
Wow. I have it. I just have to turn it on. All right.
This is the thing with live television. You never know what you're going to get, so... We're going to continue the kite flying competition. Okay. All right, great.
On Wednesday morning, April 13th, Mr. Alsted Pemberton shared with Win FM the details of the kite flying competition. He said at the kite flying competition, we have different category of kites. We have the biggest kite, the most creative kite, the best design kite, the best flying kite, and the best book leaf kite, because we want to include the children as well. So we include the book leaf specifically for the children. According to the SJCIC president, persons can win first, second, and third place cash prizes. First place prize EC 700, second place EC 500, and third place EC 150, respectively. Additionally, Pemberton said traditional Easter foods will be on sale as vendors will be selling the likes of conky, Johnny cake, and saltfish, cassava bread, and all the goodies for Good Friday. Pemberton indicated that a bouncing castle, domino competition, and music will make up the entertainment aspect of the event, suggesting that the event is a family affair, so the whole of Nevis should attend.
Yeah, a little bit of a blackout in the story, but the highlight, of course, being the Easter egg that they put in the picture for me, along with the kites that we talked about yesterday, so I'm really excited about that. All right, so we're moving on to our second story. Again, you never know what happens when we go live. It's always a bundle of excitement, isn't it? So this one from the press unit in the office of the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris, dedicated his bi-weekly virtual forum Leadership Matters to the memory, life, and work of His Excellency Vance Winkworth Amory, former Premier of Nevis and Senior Minister in the federal government. On the show, dedicated entirely to Ambassador Amory, Prime Minister Harris described the late Mr. Amory as a well-respected and widely admired politician. Prime Minister Harris told listeners and viewers to the Tuesday, April 12th edition of Leadership Matters, quote, "Over the past 10 days, we received an outpouring of love and tributes for a truly great man. Tributes have come from politicians, teachers, bankers, diplomats, the clergy, as well as from supporters and opponents. A theme of service resonates. For others, what stood out were his good, God-fearing nature, his intelligence, his resourcefulness, and strong determination. His charming, infectious personality was evident to all. It is testament to his yeoman service as a public servant that tributes were received from across the entire hemisphere." End quote. Tributes for the late premier were received from prime ministers, premiers, ambassadors, and organizations such as the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, the ECCB, the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, the OECS, and the Caribbean Community, CARICOM. Indeed. Great politician, well-respected man.
Continued sympathies to his family. We continue now with our third story from Women Empowering Girls press release. In early April, Women Empowering Girls, WEG, partnered with the Chamber of Industry and Commerce, CIC, its platinum sponsor in recognition and celebration of International Women's Month, March 2022, to conduct a speed mentorship program with 24 female students from the Clarence Fitzgerald College. The idea behind the session was to connect female students dubbed Queenagers with war mentors, linking present with future trailblazers using the speed dating format. Each student got the opportunity to interact with women who have excelled in their respective businesses or professions in St. Kitts. The mentors used in this session comprise of women who are personally or through their organization registered with the Chamber, and women from sectors that the Chamber intends to capture. The war mentors included women from media, music, event planning, restaurateurs, photographers, cosmetology, agro-processing, cleaning services, education, and linguistics, as well as women who are managing hotels, banks, law firms, telecommunication companies. Also present were owners of small and medium-sized businesses, managers and directors of large corporations at this session. WEG matched the Queenagers with their future bosses to discuss pressing topics like scholarship, career paths, body positivity, mental health, work and family life balance, and receive general advice on how to break the bias against women and girls. Indeed, the mentorship program breaks the bias that powerful women cannot work together. So you know I'm for that.
I'm just envious of you guys coining all of these terms. You're talking about Queenagers, you're talking about womenters. What am I going to call you guys?
Look at us.
The Kingagers? I don't know what I got. I know the mentors.
You have to go to the drawing board and find an appropriate name for when November comes along.
For when November comes along.
So you got to work on that from now.
Well, obviously we've got the mentorship part already in the bag. We don't have to worry about that at all.
Easy. You see, easy. No, we had to coin a word that works well.
And it's catchy.
Yeah. Woe mentors. Queenagers. Go ladies, you are queen. And there you have it today for our local segment of news. Stay tuned. We will be right back with our regional and international segment.
Salt intake by reducing salty foods, removing table salt, and using salt alternatives when cooking.
Children, how can you tell a tsunami coming?
Teacher me.
Sammy?
My mother said, when uncle jump in the pool and the water spoosh out, that's how you tell a tsunami coming.
Settle down, children. Settle down. Do you remember our tsunami song?
Yes! Mommy,
Uncle not here in the other shake.
Hush your mouth.
Daddy, Uncle not here and the sea gone.
Who cares? You don't see all them free fish? Quick, give me the bag.
This is how you tell us tsunami a come. Teacher says so. I would have failed in school, you know.
Sammy, come, let me go. They would have failed anyhow. Let me run, see Sammy.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN on this lovely Thursday morning here in St. Kitts and Nevis. We continue now with the latest in regional news. This from the Caribbean Media Corporation. Fisheries officials in St. Lucia are investigating an apparent mass die-off event involving the long-spined black sea egg from the Caribbean islands of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Antigua and Barbuda, Dominica, St. Thomas, Saba, and Statia. The Department of Fisheries, or the DOF, is asking members of the population who have made any sightings of dead or dying black sea eggs or Diadema antillarum to make a report to the DOF immediately. The DOF said, quote, "This current die-off follows similar patterns to that of the early 1980s Diadema antillarum die-off, in which there was 95 to 99% mortality of the Diadema population," this is a tongue twister, "throughout the Caribbean. The original cause of the 1980s die-off was not determined. However, the loss of this keystone species was devastating. Therefore, it is important to track the progress of this mass mortality event in the region and attempt to mitigate the spread of this phenomenon in St. Lucia." End quote. It said, sea eggs or sea urchins are herbivores and graze on algae on the reef, providing vacant space for coral to settle and grow. So the story about Diadema antillarum, nailed it.
Why did
and the die-off, yeah.
Do they have a season? Is it that's why
I
they're
have no
dying?
idea. Apparently, you know, they still don't know why they died in the 1980s, so it's an important story to keep track of.
Season to die, season to live. I guess. We continue now with international news. Why Nigeria's historic dye pits in Kano risk closure. This from BBC News. For more than 6 centuries, a vast area of land in the historic city of Kano in northern Nigeria has been home to dye pits, where beautiful fabrics are produced using ancient techniques. The materials, dyed a signature deep blue color, have long been sold across Africa and the Middle East. But many worry that the industry is now at risk. Baba Mohammed complained as he squatted near a wide pit filled with a murky indigo-colored liquid. The young generation do not want to join the dying folks. The 75-year-old dips a piece of cloth into the hole, his hands covered with rubber gloves. The veteran dyer worries that he may be one of the last people to perform the ancient rituals, as young people have more modern tastes. And quote, "They prefer to go into business. They like to design the fabrics, but not dye them," end quote. The Kofarmata dye pits, established at the turn of the 16th century, were once a source of livelihood for thousands of local people. The unique designs of the fabrics are usually created by women who twist and tie the material in their homes into different shapes to produce the patterns. The tied fabrics are then handed over to the dyers.
Interesting story, and I love the way that they capture the patterns when they dye them. That's so incredible to look at. It's indeed a dying art.
That's the sad part.
That's a pun.
A dying art, because the young people ain't got time for that.
Wow. You know, hopefully it remains, because culture is so very important, you know.
Yeah, it is.
One generation to the next. All right, well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. For the latest for today, we'll be back with more Good Morning SKN in a flash. Don't go anywhere.
Self-health management refers to the measures people take to manage their own health. You and I should remember to wash hands often with soap and water, or use alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Avoid touching your eyes, mouth, and nose. Take your temperature morning and evening. Watch for symptoms. Persons with diabetes or hypertension are reminded to take your medication regularly as prescribed. If you have no symptoms, you may carry out your normal routine and boost your immune system. When you are outside, avoid public spaces and wear a mask at all times. If you develop symptoms, put on a mask and seek medical care. Do not take public transportation. Inform the doctor of your travel history, any contact with confirmed or suspected cases, your occupation, and whether anyone around you has similar symptoms. If you become ill, please rest at home. Wear a mask and isolate yourself from others in your household. If you share a bathroom, disinfect daily using 1 part bleach to 10 parts water. Everyone must work together to reduce the spread of the coronavirus.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
As a hypertensive patient, in my home, I reduce salt intake by not adding salt during the preparation of my food, not having a salt shaker on my table, limiting the consumption of salty snacks, and choosing products with low sodium content. That's why I am salt smart.
I wear a mask because I want to protect my child, but also I want to protect his classmates and his teachers.
I wear a mask because I care about the frontline workers who will have to work even harder if those around me get sick.
I wear a mask to protect my family. I wear a mask to protect you. I wear a mask because it is the right thing to do.
I wear a mask because I don't want to put any vulnerable individuals at risk, like my elderly loved ones.
I wear a mask because
we are all in this together.
It was recently announced that there will be an implementation of a new national assessment dubbed Key Stage Assessment of Learning, or KAL, here in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. To tell us more about this, we warmly welcome Ornella Halliday-Backus, who is an assessment coordinator at the Curriculum Development Unit Teacher Resource Center, or the CDU-TRC. Welcome to Good Morning SKN.
Welcome. Thank you. Good morning.
All right, so let's get the conversation started. Obviously, the Key Stage Assessment of Learning is earmarked to replace tests of standards as we know it here in the Federation, and I imagine it's important to get that information out to the parents. In relation to that, what can you tell us about the key differences between the key KAL and the test of standards?
Okay, so we know that test of standards was basically, every time we hear about test of standards, we think about promotion and grades. What class is my child going to land in high school? That was the crux of the conversation. But the difference between KAL and test of standards is that the KAL is only going to be used to guide instructions. And we're saying KAL, it's not going to be a full-fledged KAL this year. We're going to be doing a census pilot for KAL. So with the census pilot, we're only touching on 2 subjects this year, which is the mathematics and the language arts. So with the census pilot for KAL, we will not be giving any information as to any promotions for high school. The survey results, the results from the assessment would not be used to say who ranked the highest in the federation or who's the top student. We are only looking to get the results so that we could determine where the students are and where we would hope for them to be in the future as they progress in their academics goals. Yeah. So it is noticeably different.
I understand. What I understand from test of standards, having intimate knowledge of it myself, because I worked where you work, having some intimate knowledge of it, it was not supposed to be for placement initially. And so the branding of the KAL to me makes sense. It's just now to get the buy-in for that from the public, if I'm not mistaken. And how do you orient teachers to that move that says, you know, obviously we now need to shift what we use to place our students?
Well, that's a very good question because, you know, for the whole assessment, will depend heavily on the teachers. The teachers are the one in the classrooms with the students, so we are expecting them to be on board. To assist with this process, we would have had a number of professional development sessions with the teachers, and they are ongoing. We continue to inform and educate the teachers. We know that the national assessment, the formats that it's going to take this year is totally different to test of standards. And with anything else, change, sometimes people see change as being a scary thing. So we felt the need to do these professional development sessions with the teachers so that we could guide them throughout the process. The makeup of the national assessment as well is totally different to test of standards. We are not only having a written component, but there's a practical component to the assessments as well. And so these things would be new to the teachers. And so we felt the need to have these development sessions with them so that they can learn and in turn share that knowledge with their students.
You said practical component. Can you expound on that a bit?
Yes, so we are familiar, well, those of us who are familiar with the high school system, we know that they have the written component, and then we have what is called a school-based assessment, where they are given tasks to do in order to complete, and those would be weighed in addition to what they would have done on the written component to make up their final grade. So it is going to be similar with the national assessment. For language arts, the students will not be only expected to sit in a room and do a written component, but they have what we call a language arts portfolio that would be completed over time with the help of their teacher. And this portfolio would be geared towards developing the students' abilities to write pieces. So they have that aspect in order to gain some marks to make up for their national assessment grades for language arts. It is similar with the mathematics as well, because for the mathematics they have a performance-based task. And so they will be able to demonstrate what they would have learned through actually doing something.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
I can see how this would facilitate better treatment of the anxiety that goes into test of standards, indeed. It's interesting for me because from the assessment side of it, I imagine that, as you pointed out quite correctly, there are some key differences. In terms of reporting to the schools, obviously this information is not going to be used for placement, but how do you hope the information is going to be used by the schools in perhaps ways that it was not used to read test of standards?
Okay, and I mentioned earlier about the professional development sessions that we are having with teachers, and getting closer to the national assessment, we do have a professional development session scheduled with the teachers and the principals and also educators so that they could interpret the results that would be generated from the assessment. We are hoping that with these results, it would be able to guide the teachers with their instruction of the students. So if from the results we are seeing that 80% of your class, let's say, can read and analyze, but 20% of the class cannot, how then can you as a teacher get those 20% of the students on board in order to help them to progress? So with sharing the results from the reports with the teachers, we are hoping that they will be able to analyze those results and with the help of the Ministry of Court and support from CDU, be able to formulate some sort of action plan in order to move forward with the students.
And I can see why that's very important, especially in terms of remediation, because what you don't want is to have a student who has difficulty, say, with addition in mathematics or multiplication in grade 3 or grade 4, and that goes unaddressed as you progress. Very interesting conversation. We'll be back to talk with you more after this break. Stay tuned, everyone.
Okay.
I'm here to say kids, Nevis, you don't know for us I represent for the Ministry of Health. Yeah. Respect the COVID protocols. In a time like this, all for one for all. St. Kitts Nevis. Don't forget your mask. Wear it everywhere you go. Sanitize before and after everything you do. Cause you never know what's on the surface of the places you go. Maintain a safe social distance between me and you. Keep calm and stay focused. Don't be a fool, seek the facts first. And boost your immune system up. Don't wanna lose no more of us. Mask up, furlough, sanitize. Observe the protocols all about. Be wise. Mask up, furlough, sanitize. Me family fitting boat. And you.
Blessed love and greetings. This is Infamous, and I am here to encourage every Kittitian and Nivision to remember that we have our part to play in the fight against COVID-19. So sanitize, wear your face mask, practice social distancing, and go and get vaccinated. For me no know about you, but me love think it's bad. Easy no man.
Do you know that common baked goods such as bread and crackers are high in salt? Get Salt Smart.
When growing your savings, where you save matters more than you think. Dare to compare and see for yourself why you should start saving and investing at First Federal Credit Union. You don't have to settle for cents. Let your money make sense. Reap a higher return by stashing your cash in a high-yield savings account or term deposit and earn up to 4% interest on your money. At First Federal, we say yes.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. We are continuing our discussion with Ornella Howley Backus, who is an assessment coordinator at the Curriculum Development Unit, Teacher Resource Center, CDU TRC. Very engaging conversation so far, Mrs. Backus. Assessment. That is the thing that I guess gives people anxiety. But more than that, on the other side, what they don't generally see, which is where you come in as CDU TRC, is the generation of reports. Meaningful reports. I can imagine that there are parents who having children who've gone through one test of standard, two sets of standards, you know, realizing that that child has deficiencies, but not necessarily being able to pinpoint what they are outside of a percentage, now can look to the KAL and the CDU-TRC and say, hey, well, maybe this is specifically what my child needs to work, and what can you tell us about that?
And that is exactly how the reports are going to be generated for the parents, for the students, all of the stakeholders involved in the census pilot for the national assessment. There would be reports generated specifically to their expectations. And I like that you mentioned the percentage grade, because with test of standards, the only thing we got was a percentage that would determine your placement, more or less. But we are shifting away from that, and we are going to be designing reports that would, in detail, explain to the parents, explain to the students what the expectations were, what targets were set, and how the students would have performed. And we are going to give them a detail, tell them whether or not they met expectations, what areas they were strong in, what areas they would need assistance in, and all of that information would help to guide them.
So we understand that the CAL will be implemented in stages. Tell us about that and the subjects for the phases.
Okay, so this census pilot is only going to be focused on the language arts and the mathematics. We felt it was important to choose those two subjects because we know that numeracy and literacy are the foundation for any educational sector. If you want to determine where our students are, literacy and numeracy, I mean, it's involved in every subject area. And so that is why we chose those two areas. And as you rightfully mentioned, it is a phased approach. We hope that by next year, we would be able to introduce the other three areas, which is the social studies, the science, and a new component, the health and wellness. So it is a phased approach, and with the information that we gather from this census pilot, of course, it would inform us as to how we should move forward.
These kids are, should I say, better off? Because I would not have gotten an E in computation and maths if someone had noticed that way before. So kids, take heed.
I want to believe they're better off. I agree. Wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
I would think that indeed. And a major part of what you do as a staff member at the CDU-TRC is, of course, you're responsible for curriculum as well. So when we're talking about assessment, we're talking about mapping the students' performances back to the objectives on the curriculum. So the reports will be that specific?
Correct. And even with the assessment, the whole assessment, the makeup, all of the learning outcomes that would be targeted are those that would be in the curriculum. And that is another main purpose of us doing this. We want to see if the curriculum is working. I don't know if you know, but we had a new curriculum rolled out, the enhanced curriculum. Correct. So the assessment would be covering the learning outcomes out of that, so that we can see if there are any flaws in the new curriculum and we need to fix them, we work on them now.
I'm glad that you mentioned that as well, because when we talk about the curriculum, it's important to underscore the fact that it's not a static curriculum.
Correct.
It's subject to review, and there's a lot of work that goes into determining what actually makes it into the curriculum. And then on this side of it, it's whether or not it's working, and to the extent that it's working or not. So very important work that you're doing. We want some insight. I'm sure Kortensia can't wait for this, of course, because we're talking about KAL, the grading process. What can you tell us about how the assessments will be graded?
Okay, well, it's going to be different. We have some rubrics that the teachers would be expected to use. The teachers are going to play a vital part in the grading process of these assessments, so that we could be able to maintain that they are bias-free, the grades are bias-free. And so the marking rubrics are going to be standardized across the board, so that every teacher who is grading a script or a task, they can have the same information, and every child will be treated fairly in terms of the grading. We are hoping that teachers could come together in zones and meet in a particular center. In these centers, we would have trained leaders who would be responsible for overseeing the grading process of the assessments. Initially we said that they would stay in the school and mark them, but some teachers expressed that the school environment might be too noisy, too disruptive, so we're going to bring them together in zone to assist us with the grading process.
I love the way that there is this collaboration, not only with curriculum officers like yourself, but also with the schools, because really you can't do anything effectively without that level of buy-in and support from the teachers. So teachers, you're listening, you're out there, you are so important, you have no idea.
Yes.
But in addition to that, again, to go back to something that you said, the parents are also important, which is why the information that you are going to provide to them in these reports would be enough to ensure that on some level you could facilitate their taking the necessary steps.
Correct.
What are some of those steps, if I could pick your brain a little bit, that you'd like to see, for instance, in cases where we know that there is a child that might have a learning deficiency that this spots, maybe not just the first time that you administer the KAL, but maybe on the second, and you say, this is something that perhaps was not addressed before. How would you treat with that?
I am trying to understand to make sure I get
Okay,
what you're asking
two-part
for.
question. Since the reports are being generated for parents as well as schools, if there is a child, for instance, who, if I were to make it real to you, has an issue with division, and I noticed that when I assessed that child the first time, that issue was there, I've generated the report, we've looked at it, but the next time the child is assessed, that problem still persists. What measures, and I know that you're not an enforcement body, believe it or not, I know that you're not, but by way of advice or, how would you inform they're using the report to ensure that we don't see that recurring, so that by the time the child gets to high school, those problems are addressed? What can you say that parents might need to do and the schools should do?
Okay, so because the reports are going to be generated in such a way that they would provide a lot of information, I would, especially at the grade 6 level, hopefully they would not be seeing the teachers in the primary school level after they would have completed the national assessment, because they'll be moving on to first form. So on the teachers' end, in the first form teachers would be getting individual reports for the students, so they would know how to structure their lesson plans and be able to identify those deficiencies that some students may have. We know that some parents are very proactive. I'm a parent myself, and if I see that my child is struggling, I see this report that says that my child is struggling in a particular area, the first thing that comes to mind is I have to get somebody to assist my child in this area if I cannot do it myself. So we are hoping that with the reports, the parents would be able to identify their weaknesses in the students and find someone to assist them with getting out of that. And we are depending heavily on the teachers in the grades ahead so that they too could use the reports to assist the students with whatever weaknesses they may have.
A very important point, because there's continuity in education.
Yeah. Correct.
It doesn't just
Correct.
end. I love it. Thank you for taking the time to talk with Kortensia and me all about the KAL. Great work. Thank you, guys. At the CDU TRC. We'll be back in a moment, everyone. Stay tuned.
Thank you.
Let's face it, most parents or guardians don't want to think about their teens having sex, let alone contemplate the possibility that they might get pregnant or get someone pregnant. Teenage pregnancy is a situation that involves female adolescents. A teenage female can be pregnant as early as age 12 or 13, although it is usually 14 and older. The fact that teenagers become pregnant is related to many factors. Here are some tips to decrease teen pregnancy. Teach teenagers comprehensive sex education. Target messages at teen boys, not just girls. Get the whole community involved. Encourage mentoring, parental involvement, and support. This message was brought to you by Project Viola through the Department of Gender Affairs with support from the Basic Needs Trust Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank.
Did you know that there are certain seasonings that contain more salt than you actually need? There are more natural, healthier ways to reduce the salt intake in your dishes by using natural things like onions, garlic, seasoned peppers, and even thyme and merengue powder.
Has anyone ever touched you here, or here? Well, these are actually bad touches, not good ones. And so, if anyone ever touches you in these areas or anywhere else that makes you uncomfortable, you must say no, then go and tell. Say it with me. Say no, then go and tell.
This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with Probation and Child Protection Services, the Ministry of Health, and the Pan American Health Organization.
Children, how can you tell a tsunami coming?
Teacher me.
Sammy?
My mother said when uncle jump in the pool and the water spoosh out, that's how you tell a tsunami coming.
Settle down, children, settle down. Do you remember our tsunami song?
Yes!
Mommy, Uncle not here in the other shake.
Hush your mouth.
Daddy, Uncle not here and the sea gone.
Who cares? You don't see all them free fish? Quick, give me the bag.
This is how you tell a tsunami a come. Teacher says so. I would have failed in school, you know.
Sammy, come, let me go. They would have failed anyhow. Let me run, see, Sammy?
It's been 6 months now and Glenn hasn't been working. His attitude has completely changed and he's been leaving the house every day for hours and liming with his friends and coming home drunk and causing confusion.
Gloria, this is what you cooked today? This is not enough food for a big man like me.
But Glenn, it's been 6 months now. You haven't given me any money to shop for food.
Okay, so what you want me to do if my boss ain't called me out for work as yet?
Look for a different job now.
What you just said to me?
Get a next job.
What?
Help, let me go.
Let go what? Yeah, let's see what really happened. Let go what? Watch your mouth with me now.
The weekend mom and dad fight. When are they going to stop?
Domestic violence is not just physical, it's mental, emotional, economical, and psychological. If you, your friend or family member is being abused, you can contact one of the numbers listed below for help. Department of Gender Affairs 662-5492, Special Victims Unit 662-7077, Counseling Unit 465-5000. This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and the Pan American Health Organization.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. Apparently the month is all about empowering the youth. Here on Good Morning SKN, we have spoken to 2 of the 15 winners of the National Essay Competition for the Dubai Expo 2020. Yesterday, we had the pleasure of speaking with Malachi Tucker Gums, the first place winner of the Goldwyn O'Kane's speech competition, who is also a Washi Wildcat. Today is no different in the trend because we are joined by Asian Smitten. Asian won the top prize for the U.S. Embassy's annual Black History Month secondary school speech competition. Join us as we welcome Asian and her teacher, Shauna Millington, to Good Morning SKN Youth Power. Good morning, ladies.
Hi, good morning.
And welcome to Good Morning SKN.
So we'll dive right into it. Having to create a pre-recorded video for submission, what was the experience like? Did you expect to be so successful?
Well, it was a regional competition,
Okay.
and it wasn't, in country or in federation. So it was very nerve-wracking because the stakes were much higher.
Okay.
So doing the pre-recording gave me a little bit of an ease, but it still made me nervous because I don't know what the end result would have been.
Okay, so you were waiting while you were waiting.
Yes.
Okay.
You have such composure, though, Asian, and I want to know how much of that you think we could credit to your teacher beside you.
A lot.
How'd she help you out?
Well, during the practicing, I had to do a lot of practice with intonation, pace, and posture, as you said, standing straight and stuff like that. So she really did play a great impact on it. So.
So Shauna, when you hear that, what goes through your mind?
What goes to my mind? Well, as young, she already had the it factor. So we just had to hone her talents and nurture it. So it really wasn't that difficult because she gave us much to work with. Yes.
You've got it.
So we have a clip of your speech, Asian. Let's take a look.
According to Aimé Césaire, negritude is the recognition and acceptance of one's blackness, history, culture, and destiny. We can use the musical art form to memorialize our past through genres such as calypso and reggae. We do not have to reinvent the wheel. Artists can mirror trailblazers such as Bob Marley and Peter Tosh to create music that celebrates our African identity. This music will not only explore themes associated with our African traditions, but will also highlight the cruelty of our colonial past, which include the horrors of the Middle Passage. But how can we achieve this goal? Will Eastern Caribbean artists be willing to incorporate Afrocentrism in their music? Well, our government can incentivize artists to make more pro-Black music as part of an African cultural renaissance. These incentives can be in the form of musical equipment, grants, or performance slots. Additionally, our government can repurpose our colonial relics as cultural centers. Most of the architectural relics in the Caribbean were built using slave labor. However, as tumultuous as our colonial past was, it would be dishonorable to remove these time capsules simply because they remind us of slavery. Throughout the Caribbean, many historical sites, including the Brimstone Hill Fortress in St. Kitts, have been repurposed as tourist attractions.
Asian, I feel the passion. I'm getting the goosebumps. Is this the first time you're seeing yourself with the speech?
No.
No? Okay. Well, I can definitely see and feel why you won, because you're very passionate. And I also like the part that you mentioned, us removing the relics because of what it reminds us of. So those were the parts that stood out to me.
Thank you.
Yeah, you did a phenomenal job, I have to say. Very convincing and very persuasive. On a personal level, Asian, I want to know, in preparing for this competition, and even after delivering that speech, did you learn anything from your research that inspires you to put some of those suggestions to life?
Yes, actually, yes. The research proved very knowledgeable. I learned a lot. And some of the things that really stood out were sometimes we just hear about African slave labor, and we just hear about where we came from, but actually doing the research, I actually feel the connection, I actually understand, and I'm so forever grateful for all that they did so that we can be where we are today.
I see the look on your face, Tashiana. Come on, you have to give us something here. What again do you feel when you hear that?
Yes, it was a very negritude, nuanced project, and it allowed us to celebrate our Afro-Caribbean identity, and I feel like that's very important, especially for ASEAN. I'm young too, but it's important in that stage for her to feel a connection to her past, to her ancestors, yes.
Negritude.
Yes.
What does that word mean to both of you, very quickly?
Negritude is simply the promotion of our blackness through the arts, whether it's calypso, reggae, drumming, dancing. It's just showing the world that you are proud to be black.
Look at you. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in a moment, everyone. Stay tuned.
Bless up, Dejo here, and I'm doing my part in the fight against COVID-19 by following all safety protocols and, most importantly, rolling up my sleeve for the vaccine. So I'm encouraging you to do the same, because that's our best shot of protecting ourselves, our family, and our friends. So don't wait, vaccinate. Let's roll up to roll out.
It's only just a phase. Once we're vaccinated, and everybody gonna be safe. Everybody gonna be one safe. Kind, yeah. One people. We are roll up to roll up, yeah. 'Cause no man's alone. Do what's right, alright. 'Cause I love you, brother, my sister. And we're in this together, my sister, my brother. I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much. I think it's better for us, yeah, yeah. It's better for us. Hey, I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much, yeah, yeah. It's better for us. Tell your mommy to roll up to roll out.
You can lower your salt intake by reducing salty foods, removing table salt, and using salt alternatives when cooking.
When growing your savings, where you save matters more than you think. Dare to compare and see for yourself why you should start saving and investing at First Federal Credit Union. You don't have to settle for cents. Let your money make sense. Reap a higher return by stashing your cash in a high-yield savings account or term deposit and earn up to 4% interest on your money. At First Federal, we say yes.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. We are continuing our discussion with Asian Smitten, the first place winner of the U.S. Embassy's annual Black History Month secondary school competition. Asian is joined by her teacher, Tashiana Millington. Hey, so we're having so much fun, and this is a moment of enlightenment for us. We learned about negritude in the previous segment. We're going to get into, right now, the preparation for this competition, the writing process, the videography. What can you tell us about what went into it? Yes.
Okay. The practicing process, the whole process was time consuming actually, but I'm grateful because it was very rewarding because I love public speaking. So getting the opportunity to do that was great. So I appreciated that. And as I mentioned earlier, I think I got to practice my public speaking skills, and I learned more about intonation and pace, and I'm sure those skills that I learned will help me further on, so I'm grateful for that.
So during the break, I asked you about the research process. How long did it take you to gather all the information that you required for your presentation?
Well, it didn't take too long because at the school we did have a great collaboration with the English department and the history department. So we had lots of teachers helping me and helping the whole process.
All right, you say history. I'm going to let you name them in a bit, but history, Miss Swanston?
Her department, yes, she's the HOD. Yes.
You inside knowledge here. You had help.
Yes.
So let's talk about who helped you out.
Yes. So failure was not an option.
Failure is not. Hey,
I realize it's not an option with the welfare.
Listen, you got to say what that theme is, because yesterday we had one of your colleagues here, and I was drilling him about the theme. Winning is not an
option. It's a way of life.
There you go. You
got
it.
She got it. She got it. She got it.
You nailed it. So, Tashiana, tell us about the team who helped secure the win.
Okay, as Jan said, it was via a collaborative effort. The history department and the English department. So we had teachers such as Miss Woods, we had Miss Richards, Miss Boynes, Mr. Williams, and Miss Bailey. And we all just banded together and we guided Asian, her projection, her tone, inflection, and everyone provided Asian with the feedback that was necessary to her, becoming successful.
You took that feedback and internalized it and ran with it, I bet, right?
I did. I did.
So any future thoughts of becoming a minister of anything?
No, thank you.
I'm just trying to build a party here, folks, because as they come, I just see the potential. So I'm just, I'm just putting it out there.
She's putting it out there.
Yeah.
You're not a youth parliamentarian, by the way, are you? Are you a youth parliamentarian?
No.
No, you're not.
I wanted to ask
it's interesting because you're into public speaking. That seems to be where a lot of the young people who express themselves very well, which you are doing, by the way, seem to get their exposure, at least the first bit of it. So you're not a youth parliamentarian, but you are interested in public speaking. How did you become exposed to it?
When I was much younger, I was given the opportunity to preach at my church.
Praise the Lord.
Yes, and there I got a knack for it. And at church we did also have an elocution contest, and I came first in my category. So just over the years I just built that love for public speaking. So if anyone ever asks me to do some sort of public speaking, it's just a yes for me immediately.
I love it. And you say over the years, but you're still very young.
I know, right? When I was younger. So what do I say?
How old were you at the time?
The first time I was in the 4th grade, so that's about 10, somewhere around there.
Okay, so you're a veteran. You've got 7 years here. Some of us, you last longer than some marriages, really. Trust me. Oh boy.
Oh my gosh.
Kortensia can't find the words
I know,
now.
I can't find the words.
I think you stumped her because you don't want to be a politician.
Find the words.
So, let's continue the conversation now.
So yesterday we asked Malachi what prizes he got from his competition. So what prizes did you get, and which one are you most excited about?
Well, I am receiving a grant of 2,000 US in the form of a desktop for the school, a laptop for myself, a Bluetooth speaker, a trophy, some books, and a printer. And I think I'm most excited about the laptop because I do like technology as well, and it will really help me with the enhancing of my education. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I could see that that's why they chose those prizes, to make sure that you continue along this path. Indeed. So apart from public speaking, what else do you like to do academically and otherwise?
Well, there was this time in life.
Here we go again, down memory lane, right?
Yes, there was this time in life where I really, really liked math, but then they introduced letters, and it just, but it's still good. It's still good. And right now, I really, really do love principles of account and principles of business. So maybe that's where I'll be.
Okay, great. I'm hoping that Tashiana will help you to love math again, being my former student and all, right, Tashiana?
I'm an English teacher, I'm not buying it, right?
You're not buying it. I need to be as convincing as you. She's not buying it at all.
So I need to ask, Asian, do you already have a career path in mind that you're going to take?
That's a great question. I have had a lot of dreams, a lot of aspirations. Right now, it is lawyer, but
love it.
We don't know. We'll see where life takes us.
Take it from me that life can take you in many different paths, many different points in time, and at some point they all converge. I might know a thing or two about that.
Yeah, and you know.
He taught me.
She was laughing.
Yeah.
Right.
And you're never too old to start over. So can I get a do-over? Anybody out there? You need a do-over.
Yeah, tomorrow morning at 8 when you start. Well, no, we're not going to be here tomorrow morning at 8. Anyway, yeah, it's Easter weekend. But we want to thank you guys for coming by and sharing with us. This has been a whole lot of fun.
Yeah.
We're so proud of you. We're so proud of what you're doing to help her. Thank you to the team at WASHI as well. Best of luck to you both.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It was nice.
It was really nice.
We'll be back in a moment, everyone. Stay tuned, please.
I going out tonight. I got a hot date. He older than me, but I don't care. I like what he telling me. He say I look sweet and ting. What? You want me go home with him? Nice. Boy, I wonder if I'm ready for this. I notice he ain't got a condom, but I gonna go ahead, see? He might think me ain't like him or trust him. Plus, this my first time. Nothing gonna happen to me. Lord, how could I let this happen? I ain't ready for no child. Who gonna support me and my child? My man gone jail and mommy and daddy said they ain't gonna help. I all on my own. How could I be so careless? I wish I could go back to that now. But my education on hold. How could I let this happen? Don't let this happen to you. Contact the Department of Gender Affairs to find out about confidential offices and personnel available to answer questions about your sexuality or pre- or postnatal concerns.
This message was brought to you by Project Viola through the Department of Gender Affairs with support from the Basic Needs Trust Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank.
For dinner. Let me just check the amount of sodium in this can. Oh no, this is too much. Let me try our next option. They did say it's healthy to consume less salt. This
This is much better. I am Salt Smart.
Everyone is encouraged to adopt a healthy and positive approach to daily life. Here are a few friendly reminders.
When you go to the local market and food vendors, remember to maintain a social distance of 6 feet or 2 meters apart. And always wear your mask.
Always keep your hands clean. Wash your hands with soap and water or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer.
When dining, choose restaurants with staggered seating. This will lower the risk of transmission.
If you have a fever, cough, or other respiratory symptoms, please wear a mask and seek medical care immediately. Rest at home and do not visit the food vendors, local markets, or restaurants.
Greetings, my lovely people. I'm Chantel, residing in Taiwan. 12 hours time difference. It's nighttime here, morning time in SK. I'm busy and on the go. However, I always manage to keep up to date with what's happening in SK. All thanks to Good Morning SKN. Good morning, SKN. Ciao, bango!
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. In our previous segment, we spoke with Asian Smitten, the winner of the U.S. Embassy Annual Black History Month Secondary School Speech Competition. Speaking of speeches, one major aspect of writing is the development of one's vocabulary. Our vocabulary is made up of various parts of speech, one of such being adjectives. Today, as we loosen up, our knowledge of adjectives or describing words will be put to the test. We will be put in the hot seat. We each have been given various words and objective, and the objective is to describe it to the other person so that they can guess the word that we are describing. So for our viewing audience, you can play too, and you can let us know how many you got correct.
Of course, as always, Team K or Team J. Hashtag, use the hashtag. We will see if your predictions are correct.
So are you ready, Jamie?
I am.
Okay. Metal. Shaped like a skirt. With a handle.
A kettle?
No. Okay, so metal.
Armor?
No. Bronze, gold, shaped like a skirt, has a handle, has a tongue.
Okay, you lost me on that one because if you didn't go have a tongue, I would have been like Lady Gaga's costume. I don't know what to say.
No. Okay, so bronze, gold, silver.
Okay, it's obvious I'm not gonna get this one.
Christmas time.
A Christmas tree?
No.
Okay, I pass.
A bell.
Sorry. Yeah.
A
pass.
bell.
A bell?
A bell.
A bell is shaped like a skirt?
Shaped like a skirt, has a handle, has a tongue, gold, bronze, silver.
Here's how you get bell, Kortensia. It rings.
No, that would have been too easy. That's why I didn't say that part.
It rings. Guys, help me out here. It rings, right?
I can't.
All right, so I'm going to describe mine. Personal.
Personal.
Painful. Medication. Exasperation.
Needle.
Frustration.
Mental. Headache.
Yes. That is how you describe.
But a belly shaped like a skirt.
That is how you describe. Keep going, Kortensia.
I cannot. Cute and cuddly. Black and white.
A Dalmatian.
Climbs trees.
Michael Jackson, I'm kidding.
Eats bamboo.
A koala bear.
No.
Ooh. A bear.
No, it's...
Panda.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Hands up. And
Got my beer signals crossed, but hey.
Once you heard bamboo, you should have figured that out.
Oh boy. All right. This is going to be so funny to me. I'm going to give you this one now.
Okay.
New York City subway.
Shooter?
Cat.
New York City subway?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Cat.
Cat?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You're still not helping me. Garbage.
New York City subway.
New York City subway. Cat.
Garbage.
Garbage. Cheese.
Garbage pizza.
Trap.
Pizza. Rat. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, saw a major one in the New York City subway. I never got over it. Oh my god. Don't know what that thing fed on. It
Okay.
was gigantic. All right.
Long, sometimes short. It comes in a variety of colors. It connects almost everything to power.
Lamppost.
No. Long, short. It comes in varying colors.
A generator.
No, it connects everything to power.
Wire. Electrical wire.
Close enough.
Close enough.
Mm-hmm.
Power cord. What did you have?
The word is cord.
The word is cord. Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Okay.
Wee wee.
Uh-huh. Sorry. I just did it. It's your turn.
I started.
Oh my god, really?
Wee wee.
Oh my god. Language. Arts. Cheese.
Wee.
Paris.
Wee.
Two.
Wee.
French.
Thank you.
What? No, man. No. Oh my gosh.
Kortensia, guys, Kortensia is terrible at describing, is she not?
No, I'm not. Look, I gave you the
Come on,
easiest
just-
thing and you couldn't figure it out.
I can see you shaking your heads on the other side of the monitors. You're like,
Saying
yeah.
Kortensia is the bomb, right?
Yeah.
She brings laughs to the show. Yeah.
All right, keep going, guys. Keep going.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Campbell's soup.
Not Campbell's soup.
I'm kidding.
Flowers, clothing, food coloring,
Rainbow? I have no idea.
There's one particular fruit that it's native to. So flowers, food coloring, a fruit. Oh my gosh. It's close to bronze. It's between gold and bronze.
Silver? Platter?
No.
I have
It's
no
between
idea.
gold and bronze. It's a big.
medal? I
There's
have
a
no
big
idea.
parade in the United States concerning this thing.
St. Patrick's Day?
No.
New Year's Day?
Okay, so there's a fruit that is a major that has it, and as I said, the fruit could be between what I said, gold and bronze,
Wow.
silver and bronze.
Does anybody else get that?
Okay, it's a color.
You're killing me.
It's a color. There's a big parade in the States concerning this color.
There's a big parade in the States concerning a color?
A color, yeah.
I said St. Patrick's Day.
No.
Green?
That's green. No.
Okay, I pass.
Orange bowl.
Wow.
Parade.
Thank you.
No,
see why
right?
you
I
gave
said
me
there's
those
a whole
cues.
fruit.
Okay. Trip to space.
Astronaut.
Planes go through it.
Trip. Oh my god, I know this. Trip to
Determines the
space.
weather.
Atmosphere?
Yes.
Yes, I knew it. I knew it. Oh. How do I say this? There is a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. It is the country. It is-
Ireland.
Okay. Easy.
That's your Irish accent? Oh my god.
Hey, my accent was good, right?
You want to hear me with my Irish accent? I'm
Oh
sorry, here
my
we go. We're going to count, and I'm going to end at the number 8.
That's your one?
That's my one Irish word.
Listen.
Okay, so here we go. Black and white.
Black and
Made
white.
of keys. Musical.
Piano.
There we
Bing,
go.
bing, 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 bing. Mythical creature. He was in Shrek.
A dragon?
Yeah, look at you.
Okay. And actually, that was a she, by the way. You said he was a Shrek. The dragon.
Shrek fans, don't come for me.
Oh boy. Alrighty. So, how do I say this now?
Man, this game is fun.
Guys, get a square from the
barber.
There we go.
Ooh. Are you?
Okay.
Are you? There's a word that's missing. Are you?
How?
No.
Wow.
Are you? I don't know you. Are you?
Jamie?
No, I don't know you. I don't know you. So are you? A word is missing before are you. I don't know.
Who?
Thank you.
Wow. Wow. We don't even have time for the next one. Okay, so there we go.
And it was so much fun.
Wait, but who started? You started. We should really have time. Anyway, it's fine. We're here. We're here already. The time has been exhausted. Do we have any scores?
I wonder how many our watching audience got. Jamie won? I lost. Oh my God.
Got 5. Kortensia got 4. So we were close.
Jamie won today. Kurt Carty, you can give him a big hand.
Kurt Carty can't clap his hands. They're in handcuffs because he's in jail for storming our show on April 1st. Alrighty. That being said, guys. Hey, yeah, we're gonna go to break.
Yeah, stick and stay. We'll be right back.
Everyone is encouraged to adopt a healthy and positive approach to daily life. Here are a few friendly reminders.
When you go to the local market and food vendors, remember to maintain a social distance of 6 feet or 2 meters apart. And always wear your mask.
Always keep your hands clean. Wash your hands with soap and water or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer.
When dining, choose restaurants with staggered seating. This will lower the risk of transmission.
If you have a fever, cough, or other respiratory symptoms, please wear a mask and seek medical care immediately. Rest at home and do not visit the food vendors, local markets, or restaurants.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
These teen boys nowadays get me so upset. I see these teen girls with their big bellies and you want to tell me y'all couldn't protect her and yourself? Come on. Now don't tell me no stupidness about you feel embarrassed about getting a pack of condoms or asking somebody for one. That ain't nothing to be ashamed about. You should be proud that you are making a wise decision, but you still have to abstain from having sex with someone under the age of consent. If your boys are pressuring you to have sex and you don't want to, then don't. You are in charge of your life, not them. I heard another one saying it's sweeter without a condom, but my granny always told me, no glove, no love. So let me tell you something. It's sweeter to have money in your pockets and not have to support a child at that young age. Before I say anything else, the best way to prevent teenage pregnancy is to abstain. In other words, no do it. Let me talk to the big men troubling underage girls.
Why you sleeping with your daughter? You not live clean. Your girl at 16 and your daughter at 13. So y'all look me, but me know you know that. Big man no deal with back pan back.
You understand where I'm coming from, right?
This message was brought to you by Project Viola through the Department of Gender Affairs with support from the Basic Needs Trust Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank.
Has anyone ever touched you here, here, or here? Well, these are actually bad touches, not good ones. And so, if anyone ever touches you in these areas or anywhere else that makes you uncomfortable, you must say no, then go and tell. Say it with me. Say no, then go and tell.
This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with Probation and Child Protection Services, the Ministry of Health, and the Pan American Health Organization.
You can lower your salt intake by reducing salty foods, removing table salt, and using salt alternatives when cooking.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. SKN Moves, the Nevis chapter, will be hosting an Aqua Fun Athlon this Saturday, April 16th at 9 a.m. To tell us about this, we have the pleasure of welcoming once again Sheila James, Communication Specialist in the Ministry of Health, and swim coach, Mr. James Weeks, to Good Morning SKN. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning. Hi.
Hi, good morning.
How are you both?
We are good, thanks.
We're great. I'm laughing because Kortensia is outnumbered because it seems like the Jameses have it today.
So, can you tell me what exactly is an Aqua Fun Athlon?
Okay, so based on the last meeting we had a few weeks ago, I was telling you that one of the things that SKN wanted to do was to introduce children into the program, the calendar program of events. And so I came up with the idea Aquafunathlon because children, fun, athlon as in it's 3 events in one. So basically it's swim, kayaking and run. And so that's why I came up with the idea of Funathlon. It's not meant to be serious. It's just meant to get kids confident and accessible to other activities apart from swimming.
Okay.
I've got to say, you had me at kayak. We ran all the time.
Not in the
swimming.
water.
Yeah, the kayak, I got to say, this is the engaging part. All right, so Coach James, what is your involvement in this?
Well, what I've been doing is having the kids run through the event so that they could understand. If they don't understand it, they could understand how to kayak, because some of them don't know how to kayak. Swim, most of them have that down pat, and then have them put everything together, and so that they can just leapfrog from one to the next for this Saturday coming.
I gotta say, it's a lot of fun. It sounds like a lot of fun. You guys have fun on Nevis.
Plenty fun. I need a do-over. I just need a do-over with all these things. It's Funathlon.
Hortensia is jealous of you both right now because she's wishing that she was a child able to participate in this. So she's a kid at heart forever.
The inner child.
Yeah.
So which age groups will you be catering to?
So basically, we're looking at 8 to 12-year-olds in the first instance, because this is a trial event that we're doing. And we're hoping it's going to be successful so we can continue it next year. Based on what we see this year, we may extend numbers, either increase or decrease numbers. But the idea is that we want children to be confident in the water. And we know sometimes children under that particular age group are not so, but this particular group, 8 to 12, we know they've got the confidence. So we're just testing it out to see how well we're going to do this year before we introduce the other youngsters.
Okay.
That's a great idea, actually. Yeah.
A very great idea. So there will be competition specifically for the children. Tell us about that. What types of competition?
So basically it's a 3-in-1 event. So they're going to start with the swim first. Okay. So it's a tag team of 2 in each team. I'm going to give you the names of the teams in a minute. So basically they're in pairs. And so they swim 2 laps, correct, James? They swim a lap each. 50-meter lap.
Okay.
They hand over to the next person, the next team member. Once they've completed the swim, they then come out of the water and run to the second event, which is the kayaking.
Okay.
And they do that in pairs, don't they?
Yes.
They actually do the kayaking in pairs. So they will lap twice. And what's the distance again? Can you remember?
The distance would be about, say, close to 50 meters, close to 100 meters.
100 meters. So they'll lap that twice. Once they finish that, they then jump out of the water and then they do the sprint. And whoever finishes first wins.
Oh, that's great. So it's at 9 a.m. this Saturday.
9 a.m. this Saturday morning at Awali Bay. Awali Bay.
At Awali Bay. Is registration closed? Is that what it is? So the teams are already decided. So registration is closed?
Yeah, we've already got the team, so there's no registration now. Registration's completed. So I'm going to give you the names of the teams. There's 7 teams. So we've got Zion, Sea Sisters, the Riptides, Team Seas, Will Boss, Diva Dippers, and Aqua Boys. And these children have named themselves. No adult was involved in the name picking. They picked these names out themselves, which is fabulous. I
love the creativity.
Diva Dippers.
I was just going to say that. That is my favorite name, Diva Dippers.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I lost. I had one particular one that I was fixated on, and then you started naming more, Sheila, at around 5 or 6. And I'm like, okay, this is it. This takes the cake. I lost track. The creativity indeed.
The Aqua Boys as well.
In terms of the cooperation from the parents and the wider community, what have you seen that manifested to help you get people involved in this event and even to get the word out concerning this event?
Well, what I actually had to do was I had to approach the aquatic sailing centre, and they're the ones that specialise in these 3 areas of activities, and so they already have clubs. They have club members attached to the centre, and also we opened it up to other children as well who were taking part in similar activities in Nevis. And so that's how we were able to secure the 7 teams.
Well, that's great. That sounds like a great collaboration. We'll be back to talk with you more about this event in a second, so stay tuned, please.
Okay. Thank you.
Consuming excess salt can lead to heart attack, high blood pressure, and even stroke, and other health-related conditions such as kidney disease.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
Then open waters Friday.
All right, so we're talking with Sheila James, communication specialist in the Ministry of Health, and swim coach James Weeks. We're talking all about the Aqua Fanathlon. I hope I'm saying it right. Aqua Fanathlon.
Yes.
It's going to be a whole lot of fun.
Yes.
Kortensia, you had to ask which coach. I'm getting tongue-tied after Aqua Fanathlon. I said that right. Coach Weeks, I'm getting your name wrong. Kortensia had to ask you a question.
What was the question?
If you're going to try to drown me. She's forgetting. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's get on to more serious things here
Coach
now.
Weeks promised that you can come over and he will teach you how to swim. So, Coach Wicks, can you tell us more about the training for this event's participants?
Well, so far this week we had some specific training just for this event. So Tuesday and Wednesday, we had the kids come over, whoever could come or want to come, and where I ran them through, pay special attention to the kayaking, because that seemed to be the area where needed more attention. So I had them get to the kayak, how you position yourself on the shore, get the kayak in the water, mount it, and take off. So we did that a couple of times, and then had them even back up more and run towards the kayak, put your vest on, get the kayak down in the water, and how you mount as a team. Front get in first while your back is still pushing out, and then the person that's in the back jump on after, and then they take off while the kayak is already going forward. So you want to have like a running start than to have be there at the shore and they're trying to figure out who goes in and then once they're in, who's gonna push the kayak out in the water. So we had them synchronize and do it over and over until they now got it. So they are, in that respect, they got that down pat, and then I pull back even more, where then I had them do the swim, down to the kayak, get your vest on, grab your kayak, get it out, do laps, relap as if it's race, but you take your time and focus on your technique so that you could, on race day, you know how, and you remember how you had yourself organized. Because you don't want to be experimenting on race day. So you want to be able to just flow. Do your laps, come around, dismount, make sure you bring your kayak back up on the sand, take your vest off, and then take off running.
Listen, this is so very engaging. I can only imagine what it would be like to be a spectator on that particular day. And I have to say, we know that SKN Moves is all about a healthy lifestyle. So the fact that you're introducing this event, it says to me that there might be an underlying reason, which is that you want to promote health even in youngsters. Is that correct, Sheila?
Yes, definitely. Because as we said before, any activity is going to improve your health and your lifestyle. It's going to prevent you being sluggish. It absolutely gems up your concentration levels. So it's got all these facets attached. So when children are having fun, they're not just doing fun, they're doing other things to their body as well, without even recognizing it, but they will see the results. They will see the results in the classroom, in social groups, etc., etc. It's endless. It's boundless, really.
I love it. I love the fact that you are playing on children's love of play to make sure that they're healthy. Really great.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Can I use this opportunity to say thank you to my sponsors?
You know, I was going to ask you that. I love that you're predicting this. Absolutely.
We've got to say thank you. So the prizes for this year, courtesy of Jasmine Brown, courtesy of Seal My Sip and the Games Room, courtesy of Islander and Biden Nevis. Also, participatory prizes will come from Miss Annalise LeBron. The Red Cross, as always. Kurt Swanson of the Food Centre, who's providing a water brand called True. And also to Youth and Sports. And, of course, to James and to Danielle, because without their help, as I said before, things just wouldn't move in motion. And, of course, the centre, the Aquatic Centre, yes, in Nevis.
Oh, that's great. I love the collaboration.
So, Sheila, are there any other upcoming events by the SKN Moves?
Yeah, we've got a big one, hopefully coming up in July and August. It's going to be a month's activity. I think I mentioned it in the last time we spoke. It's called the Nevis Knockout. So it's public versus private sector. And this is teams of twos. So we're in the process of getting that out and promoting that. So, yeah, that's going to be the big one to look out for in the summer.
Definitely a big one to look out for in the summer. This is the big one to look out for this Saturday at 9. Again, remind us where it's going to be.
So we're doing the Aquafunathlon this Saturday, the 16th of April, 9 a.m. start. Come and support the 7 teams that will vie for the first ever Aquafunathlon Championships. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be at Awali Bay. and it's at the base for the Aquatic Sailing Centre on Nevis. So come out in your numbers and support. It's going to be a great Saturday. The weather's going to be fine, plenty of water, plenty of music, and lots of atmosphere. Right?
Absolutely.
It's going to be great.
Myself and Jamie will be swimming over.
Coach, you haven't taught me yet, so I'm not sure about that.
As we approach the shore.
Sheila, James, and Coach Weeks, thank you so much for joining us. This is going to be a whole lot of fun. Wish you all the best with it. And of course, give us an update when you can. All right? Great talking with both of you. Thanks again.
Okay, thank you.
More
Have a
Morning
great
SKN
day.
in a flash. Stay tuned. You too.
When growing your savings, where you save matters more than you think. Dare to compare and see for yourself why you should start saving and investing at First Federal Credit Union. You don't have to settle for cents. Let your money make sense. Reap a higher return by stashing your cash in a high-yield savings account or term deposit and earn up to 4% interest on your money. At First Federal, we say yes.
You can lower your salt intake by reducing salty foods, removing table salt, and using salt alternatives when cooking.
I wear a mask because I want to protect my child, but also I want to protect his classmates and his teachers.
I wear a mask because I care about the frontline workers who will have to work even harder if those around me get sick.
I wear a mask to protect my family. I wear a mask to protect you. I wear a mask because it is the right thing to do.
I wear a mask because I don't want to put any vulnerable individuals at risk, like my elderly loved ones.
I wear a mask because
we are all in this together.
Veggies for dinner. Let me just check the amount of sodium in this can. Oh no, this is too much. Let me try our next option. They did say it's healthy to consume less salt. This is much better. I am salt smart.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. Today for our connection segment, we have the pleasure of speaking with Quincy France. Quincy was born right here in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. He currently resides in New York and is an independent personal trainer. Quincy, it's great to have you on Good Morning SKN. Welcome.
Welcome. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So happy to be here.
Wow, I gotta say, first of all, I'm loving that shirt. I'm loving that you're representing it. Q France Wellness LLC, and that is a bicep that is what? Shaping the world at the bottom of it. Okay, you're gonna have to explain that first of all. What is the image that I'm seeing below there?
So it's a timer, pretty much a clock and a bicep. So the time you put into it will give you maximum results, basically. And of course, it's almost a superhero symbol, like a Superman symbol. So you have to be your own superhero, believe in yourself, and put forth the effort into achieving your goals, basically.
I love the way how everything is so connected, don't you, Kortensia?
I do indeed. Yeah, it's all connected. So when did your fitness journey begin? What's that?
All right, we seem to be having some technical difficulties. We're going to try that one more time to see. Quincy, yes, he's back.
Yeah. You froze?
Yeah, just for a second.
Bit. So Quincy, can you tell us when did your fitness journey begin?
Well, I mean, I think it started at a very young age. I knew I was going to be, I wanted to be an athlete. You know, my uncle played for St. Kitts. He played basketball for St. Kitts. So at a young age, I saw him playing sports, and my father was into martial arts. And I knew I wanted to be an athlete. So to become an athlete, you have to train. So I was always active. You know, I wanted to be the fastest person. I wanted to be the strongest person. So I played a lot of sports in school. And but for me to become a trainer, it took somebody to come up to me and ask me, hey, how can I get arms like yours or a chest like yours? And they asked me to train them. And I started training them with my knowledge of just bodybuilding from family members and just my general fitness lifestyle. But I went and started studying and learning how to teach people to become healthier, stronger, and more, move better. And that started my journey. And that was over 20 years ago.
Over 20 years ago, wow. So that's a wealth of experience wrapped up in the Q France t-shirt right there. So let's talk about the workout. You mentioned sports, and from my limited understanding of that, it seems to me that when we have to undertake training people, we train them for their specific sports. So I imagine that you have a wealth of experience. You've listed some of the sports that you've been involved in. In terms of any workout that would be a favorite one of yours, or perhaps even the most rigorous or most challenging, what stories do you have to tell us?
Oh, definitely calisthenics, which is, I'm an advocate for calisthenics, which is body weight training. The fact is, you don't need a bunch of equipment to get results. All you need is space. You need enough space to get down on the floor and get back up. The only additions you need is something to pull and additional weight. The additional weight can be a bottle or a brick, anything. So I specialize in utilizing limited amount of equipment. So clients reach out to me and say, okay, can we train in the gym? And I will take them in the gym just to get that experience out of their way, and then take them to a park and probably give them the most rigorous training they've ever had without using any equipment, just to show them that you don't need the equipment. You just have to have a good sense of movement. So when the client first comes to me, I start with them, not what the books tell me, not what I've seen in the past or anything like that, but that general person. You have to treat every single person differently. So you have to see how they move first. You don't tell them, okay, let's do squats when you realize that their hips are too tight and they have back injuries and all of these things, and throw weights on them. So it makes me kind of upset when I see a lot of people doing different rigorous exercises like CrossFit and things like that. Not to knock on those modalities, but it's not for everybody. And you're probably not ready to do those things in that moment. You need to understand what you're capable of doing before you start your journey. So I start them there first. I see what they can do, and then we build on that.
Oh, that's great. And I love the fact that you take them out of the gym, you know, because, yeah, that's great.
Yeah, because again, the gym isn't necessary. The gym just adds additional tools for you to use.
Okay.
It's good to know. All right.
So with that said, how important it is to have a conversation with your client prior to training them?
Oh, absolutely. Very, very important. And in those conversations, you start to realize that a lot of people, they have a false sense for motivation. They'll come to me because they want to look like me or somebody else. And that's the beginning of your failure. You can't be anybody else but yourself. So I always tell them to look at a picture of themselves in the past that they used to, what is it, like on social media, you have Throwback Thursdays. So they'll put up an old picture of themselves. Like, I remember when I fit into this dress, or I remember when my arms looked like this and when I was an athlete. That's what you should be aspiring to be, that previous look of yourself, because that is achievable. Trying to look like the bodybuilder that's 19 years old is probably not a good aspiration. Try to be the version of yourself. Or just, it's as simple as like, during the conversations, I'll hear them say like, I had problems walking upstairs. That's where you start. Continue to go up those stairs until you're not winded anymore. That's an achievement in itself.
You're absolutely right. And I think setting realistic goals is another big one. So absolutely right. I think it covers that. All right, Quincy, we're going to take a break, but we'll be back to talk with you more on the other side of it. Stay tuned.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
I wear a mask because I want to protect my child, but also I want to protect his classmates and his teachers.
I wear a mask because I care about the frontline workers who will have to work even harder if those around me get sick.
I wear a mask to protect my family. I wear a mask to protect you. I wear a mask because it is the right thing to do.
I wear a mask because I don't want to put any vulnerable individuals at risk, like my elderly loved ones.
I wear a mask because
we are all in this together.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN, everyone. We are continuing our discussion with fitness trainer Quincy France, a St. Kitts and Nevis national who is currently residing in New York City. Oh, Quincy, we have a video of you doing some pull-ups, and we're going to take a look. Yeah, we got the video. let's take a look.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Oh, well, I guess they heard you. No, apparently they're, yeah, we don't have the video. We don't got the video. We got the video of you live. So we're going to stick to that. You got saved, Quincy. You got saved. All right, so let's talk about your, you're laughing. Let's talk about your clientele. I asked you earlier during the break, of course, what your clientele looks like. Again, could you respond to that?
Yeah, so right now, my clientele is low on purpose. I'm blessed to have a gym in the basement of the building where I live, where I take my clients. So I have maybe 2 clients that I see on a one-on-one basis. Everybody else that I see is usually in groups because I help host retreats and just fitness meetups and wellness events. I also teach yoga. So I see groups of people for yoga, and now it's getting warmer here in New York. So starting in about 2 weeks or so, I'll be teaching yoga to groups of people. And I also host calisthenic events where competitions where people come and do the most pull-ups, push-ups, squats, burpees, and all these things. I'll be flying out to Las Vegas to broadcast these events with a company that I started with a good friend of mine called CCA, which is Competitive Calisthenics Association, LLC. And you can see that on YouTube also, the events that we host. It's all men, women, kids, they've been training all year to see who can win competitions for like the most pull-ups, push-ups, dips, burpees, and muscle-ups and advanced movements in like 2 minutes or a minute and a half or so. So that's what I'm focusing my attention on. We're also working on an event with ESPN in June in Atlanta that I'll be flying out to. So I'll be jumping on a plane a lot. Hopefully I actually want to see if I can make it back to St. Kitts and host one of these events. And I'll be trying to work something out with one of the hotels, see if we can do a nice little retreat back home.
That'd be great. That'd be terrific. Well, that segues into the other question, because we had a question about how you maintain your link with St. Kitts and Nevis, and clearly you're working to deepen that link with, your mention of reaching out to the hotels, so that's great. But on another level, how do you maintain your link with St. Kitts and Nevis?
Just my family that's still there. We communicate with them every once in a while. And the last time I was in St. Kitts, I believe it was 2018. It was a short trip. I was actually visited on a cruise. I was on a cruise, so one of the stops was in St. Kitts. So I spent the whole day with some family, driving around, visiting everybody. Just reaching out like that. But now that things are opening up more, I'm going to start reaching out and seeing how far we can take these retreats. And definitely home is one of the places I want to visit and see what the opportunity is like to host a retreat or just a wellness meetup and teach people my style of movement.
Great. When you're here, you got to stop by.
Absolutely.
So Quincy,
absolutely.
guess what?
Uh-oh.
We got the video.
Yeah,
He said, uh-oh. So we are gonna take a look.
Yeah. Like.
Ooh, Quincy, we were watching video of you doing pull-ups in playground. Oh, whoa.
Can you explain that type of pull-up? Because I see you jumping and holding on to the third bar of an extended part of the pull-up bar, I would say.
Okay, yeah, I'm just seeing it now just because of the delay. That move, a friend of mine invented. He calls it the elevator for obvious reasons, because you're going from the low to the high.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's just an explosive pull-up, just showing off the different level, the level of strength that's required. And actually at that park, which is near my house, I actually tell people that if you come there, you have to try that in order to work out there, just to mess with them. But it's just displaying the explosive power of a pull-up, the ability, because this whole thing with this body weight movement is you take it to as far as you can. You start off trying to do a pull-up, and then you eventually, hopefully, are able to do something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not a young man. I'll be 50 this year, so I can still do this at almost 50.
That's great, man. That's
You don't look it.
Fountain of youth.
But it also intimidates a lot of my clients because they think immediately I'm going to force them to do something like this, which is absolutely not true. I'll start them off with, all right, let's see if you can touch your toes first.
Indeed. Well, Quincy, it's been our pleasure talking to you. Unfortunately, we're out of time, but we want to thank you for stopping by on Good Morning SKN. Thank you for sharing your experiences with us, and we look forward to your coming back to St. Kitts and Nevis, hosting an event here, and of course, stopping by Studio 327. Be our pleasure indeed.
Definitely. I would definitely stop by the next time I'm in SK. And thank you so much for having me.
Have a great day.
You're welcome. We'll be back in a moment, everyone. Stay tuned.
If you gradually use less salt, you will gradually want less salt. Eating less salty foods will reduce your cravings for salty foods. Let's get salt smart.
Greetings, my lovely people. I'm Chantel, residing in Taiwan. 12 hours time difference. It's nighttime here, morning time in SK. I'm busy and on the go. However, I always manage to keep up to date with what's happening in SK. All thanks to Good Morning SKN. Good morning SKN. Ciao, bango!
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN, and we are now on our final segment.
Oh, yeah.
Do we have to go?
No, we don't have to go. You can stick around. Hey, we're in the studio. We can just hijack the place like Kurt and Jaime did.
Okay, so this is the segment when we let you know what is happening. So there's an Easter egg hunt and roller skate party.
Talk about a tongue twister.
You
want to be a kid again? Okay, let's go. Get Kortensia some roller skates, guys.
So Dr. Patricia Bartlett will be hosting an Easter egg hunt and roller skate party this Saturday, the 16th April at Brown Hill Hardcourt from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. We need to move to Nevis. Whether we swim or boat, we need to go. There will be games, competition, prizes, scratch cards, and free refreshments, including popcorn and hot dogs. Guess what? There is no entrance fee, so it's absolutely free. But there is a charge of $2 for the roller skate rental. This is a family affair, so go out with your family and have some fun at this Easter egg hunt and roller skate party. So we're rolling out of here?
Say that 3 times quickly. Alrighty. So next up, it's Easter weekend, obviously. So it's finally here. The long weekend we all look forward to every year. Well, I thought that was Christmas and New Year's and anyway, yeah. Easter's one of them. So happy Easter, everyone, indeed. Yes, it's going to be a long weekend because it's a 4-day work week for 2 consecutive weeks. So you guys get a break, we get a break, you get to rejuvenate and be with your family and friends and fly your kites. And you think they're gonna decorate any eggs, you guys?
Maybe they would. After what we taught them, they should.
Well, you know what? The scavenger hunt should be really finding where the Easter Bunny is, because somebody hijacked him. I don't know where he is. And when you get him, you need to find out what he does for the rest of the year when he's on vacation, while the rest of us have to go to work, right?
He's in Dubai.
Yeah, I can see why we get the 4-day week, 4-day work week.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we do hope that you enjoy your Easter weekend in its fullest, should I say entirety?
Yeah, of course.
Or to the fullest, to the fullest. So we would like to say thank you for joining us today. Remember to follow us on our social media platforms, including Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, and even TikTok, and at our handle at Studio327 Inc. Like, subscribe, and remember, follow us.
Oh yeah, and share. I think we need to add that one. Share what you know about us. Leave a comment. Tell us what topics and guests you'd like to see next. And of course, we're not going to see you tomorrow. We're not even going to see you on Monday, but we are going to see you on Tuesday at 8 a.m. when you get to start your mornings with us and us with you. Right here on Good Morning SKN. Have a great Easter, everyone. Bye-bye.